Hello all, welcome to a new session on Insights podcast. This we call as Optional 360. So today I have Mr. Vinay Kumar GB, who is the founder and director of Insights IAS. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil.
So today this session is more about to give two aspects. One, a clear-cut idea to new aspirants that when to choose an option, how to choose an option, what are the parameters one can look for. And thirdly is that there is a larger number of questions what students have, especially those who are coming from science background. That can I take social science subject? So these are the broad themes today we are going to discuss. So I'll kickstart today's discussion saying that when is the right time to choose an optional subject for a very new aspirant who has started his preparation now?
Okay, so we have around 30 plus optional subjects. And now, why there is an optional subject in the UPSC mains? So that is a fundamental question, I think. The logic, as far as I understand, that UPSC wants one to specialize in any subject of their choice, any discipline of their choice. And fortunately, there is no restriction that one should take an optional related to their academic subject. Now, when you are pursuing academics, let us say you are doing BA Honors in Political Science or MBBS or maybe a law course from a reputed or any institution. So, you may have confusion, should I go with law optional or should I go with the optional during graduation or after graduation? So, when I start coaching, right? So, now I'll directly answer your question when. So, how and why we will answer later. Now, when I think, I believe there are two things. This entire UPSC preparation, we know that for 500 marks, optional is there. So, I think the right time to complete optional is either second or third year during the graduation when you are pursuing the graduation. So that you will have so much ample of time for GS preparation, regular reading of current affairs, analyzing the current affairs, developing, moving into the answer writing practice. So, if you have joined coaching after graduation, so if you have joined, let us say you are giving attempt in 2026. So, if you had joined coaching in the month of January, so then this is the right time to go with the optional subject. So, usually any optional subject will take 4 to 6 months to completely cover the syllabus. So, if you start now in the month of August or September, right, by December or by January, you will be done with the optional. Now, if you have joined coaching currently in the month of September, October, my recommendation is that don't join optional now because many institutions, including us, so we will be in a rush to complete the GS syllabus. So, we will be having 2 classes per day. So, if you add optional classes to that, you will be sitting in the class for 9 hours, right? So, you will not have any time to either study optional deeply or GS deeply. So, GS being fundamental subject, you need to give more time to that. So, then in that case, for somewhere in the month of March, right? So, when 4 to 5 broad GS topics are covered, then you can go with the optional and then delay your attempt to 27 rather than giving in 26 for your own consolation, or if you want to just get an experience, you can give provided you have the confidence of clearing prelims. But that confidence is not there, even then you should not give, you should save the attempt. So even if you belong to SC, ST, OBC, right, just because you have 6 attempt, 9 attempt, unlimited attempt, you should not give, right? So choosing optional should always be a priority, but when is very important, because if you just burden yourself, right, with so much, you will end up not learning anything clearly as per the demand of the examination. Everything will be superficial.
So basically from your understanding, what I can get is that one GS subject and one optional subject would be ideal, but not go for where you have 2 GS subjects at a time and balancing 3 subjects would be difficult.
Per day 4 to 5 hours you need to give to optional, including class. Right. Another, like let's say 5 to 6 hours minimum for current affairs plus GS. Right. So with that mix, like 10 to 12 hours. Right. So you need to have that time. Now if you add one more GS to it, so that balance will be affected.
So second question is that a lot of students, including our institute students and even outside, they have approached me like which option to choose for. Basically, when I give the answer, there will be always a conflict of interest because since I do teach political science as an optional subject, so I want to know from your perspective, which will be a more neutral, what a student should look for while choosing his optional subject? What are the parameters?
So as far as I understand this examination, what UPSC expects when somebody chooses any optional is that almost complete specialization, right? You need to write in-depth, specialized, subject-specific, subject topic-specific answers, derived from standard sources. So when you show that kind of mastery or expertise in the optional, you are bound to get good marks in any optional, whether it is maths, physics, chemistry, law, medical science, right? Now, what is happening in technical subjects to gain that kind of expertise? Let us say law, professional courses, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, right? Or law, medical science, or even psychology for that matter. So, what happens to gain that kind of depth? You should have done masters in those courses, and that too from a reputed institution where the academic is intense. You have trained very well with respect to concepts, and you have internalized the subject. For example, I see National Law School students naturally taking law subject, right? So they are competent enough to score somewhere around 260 to 290, even without much extra effort in those optionals, right? So if during graduation and during post graduation, if you have studied your subject really very well, right, and you have done really well, you have the confidence, then you can go with these optionals, right? But during those years, even including agriculture, for example, those years you try to balance. You didn't give enough focus to these optionals, in-depth knowledge, in-depth, the skills related to optional. If they are not developed, you must not go for these optional subjects. Even if you might have got the gold medal also. Sometimes people get gold medal merely repeating notes in, so that is again not the parameter. It is how much you are passionate, right? So after graduation, if you go with, let us say, law, mathematics, now the the balance is skewed against optional, right? So it is GS heavy exam, right? You need to score so much marks in GS. You have to focus more on GS and essay papers. And majority people come with no newspaper reading habit, no GS exposure, no lack of general awareness, right? The conceptual knowledge will be nil. So you have to give so much time for these. So when you take maths and technical subject, they will impact your GS preparation, right? So unnecessarily the things which can be cleared, the exam which can be cleared in 1 or 2 attempts, it will get dragged on to 3-4 attempts because of the wrong optional selection, if it is technical. So on the other hand, second parameter, there are optional which are really doing well. For some reasons, I see political science, sociology, anthropology, literature to some extent, geography to some extent, PubBat to some extent. Geography, PubBat, it is like, on and off. Like some years they do well, some years they don't do well. But the four options I talked about, I see consistently people doing well with a decent preparation. Now these optionals, again, you don't need any academic background, because on a day-to-day basis you are already exposed to some political concepts, sociological concepts. Anthropology also involves elements of culture and other things, right? And 12th biology, if somebody has studied human evolution, genetics, so you have some basic knowledge. And also literature, these subjects can be mastered because if that is your mother tongue, so like if that was your subject during graduation or even in 10th and PU, that introduction is there. Upon that we can build, and all best guidance is available. And I see consistently people with excellent preparation, scoring somewhere around 250 in these optionals. But there are other optionals, like let's say history, philosophy. As I said, I'll go back to my argument previously. Here in these optionals, you have to gain in-depth knowledge, mastery. So another question I wanted you to ask, but I will take this opportunity to answer that question. Now, what is happening is difficult to score 300 plus in many optionals. The fundamental main reason, I believe, is not that UPSC is targeting optionals or, standardizing or equalizing, normalizing. No. What I believe is that majority of the aspirants preparing for any optionals, they don't read any standard textbooks related to these optional subjects. For example, history, right? Like I don't think people read Romila Thapar books or like Satish Chandra or even A.L. Basham books. There are more wonderful books, written by for example, K.M. Pandikar, like, I remember. So I don't think anybody would know the name or, buy the books written by K.M. Pandikar. Similarly, for Kannada literature, right? There are wonderful books, but they don't even read original texts. The trend post 2016-17, what I've noticed, excessive reliance on the coaching material, and in addition to that, the Bibles written by toppers. Right. There are many optionals where toppers have written textbooks. See, that will work for that year. Right. During that year, if majority of the people have relied on that source, they are merely repeating same examples, same concepts. So everyone's answers will be uniform. So the one who has put extra effort going through certain good guidance from university professors, or going through standard textbooks, expert intervention, personal guidance, personal mentorship, where a mentor has told them that from this source you need to enhance your answer, enrich your answer. Somebody who has analytical depth, so though they have given some unique insights, you have to analyze this question in this way according to demand of the question. So these are the extra dimensions you can add. So that intervention, if available, so it will enhance the quality and originality of the answer. What majority people do, they just have this herd mentality. Any extraordinarily famous coaching or something, that material they use, so then it averages out. So that is the reason. So choose optional very carefully, because wrong optional will totally ruin your attempts. I know people giving 6 mains, 2-3 interviews with wrong optional, not cracking the exam. Somebody who had dream of becoming IAS ending up with IRS, some other service, because of the wrong choice in the optional subject. So there are numerous examples.
So one more thing, what I have observed, like we can take only to Karnataka as a case study, because we can't include Delhi in this. We see that a lot of people who are actually from social science background, like political science and sociology, who have studied in state universities, they are actually not doing well in these subjects. But you have engineer students, commerce students, they're excelling. For example, like last year, if you take political science, the student who got first rank was from political science, but she was from biotechnology. Previous to that, it was also from political science, but she was from commerce. Why do you think so that people from other backgrounds are able to do well in social science subject, and sometimes people from social science background are struggling? Is there any reason to it?
See, what happens, I think there may be some kind of cognitive bias here. When you are studying political science honors, let us say political science major in a university, in a college, was it because of the passion that you pursuing the course? So when you study a subject for 2 or 3 years, right, I think you develop contempt for the subject. It becomes mechanical, unless it was driven by passion. If it was driven by passion, you were really passionate about the subject. You did a wonderful internship from let's say Ministry of External Affairs, or some other ministry related to some aspects of parliamentary affairs, for example. So whether it is in state or whether it is, so another reason is that the quality of teaching has drastically declined in most of the universities. And anybody who has done BA for the sake of graduation, maybe some people have the habit of doing distance education, joining substandard colleges because it is nearby and they give attendance, and then you can go back and join the coaching. So in those cases, success rate is very low, right? Now these people who have done engineering and all, I think they have curiosity like child, maybe like new interest. They may be passionate about the subject. They do really love the subject. I think they invest their time and energy in learning the subject, not just from the academic viewpoint, but also from the viewpoint of how to use that further when they join the administration, just to enrich their perspective about the world with respect to that subject. So I think it is those candidates who actually score really good marks. I know I have spoken to some of the students who have topped in some optional, they are really passionate about their subject. For example, in Kannada literature, so Nandini KR got highest marks in Kannada literature. Before her, we had DK Balaji, who scored highest, around 340. Nandini also, she got around 350 something, I think. I remember them reading novels not related to the syllabus, right? Poetry not related to the syllabus, and always reading the original textbooks, you know, and discussing literature with so much of passion. They never memorized these poems and some unique dialogues or sentences from the prose. So it was all natural curiosity. They wanted that as part of their lives. So I think that kind of approach, even now, I strongly believe can get you 300 plus marks even now also.
Okay.
Right. That
Passion should be there.
Yes.
Sir, one more question what many students have is that, or they have a doubt, that some claim that there are some optional subjects which are GS friendly, means it will overlap with GS. To what extent this is true, or you agree with it?
I have seen like sociology and political science students, to some extent, those who used to have philosophy, they used to do really well in essay paper and also to some extent ethics paper. Philosophy is something I would never recommend as an optional, even for a ME or ME philosophy student also. Don't go with that. But I see sociology, political science, and to some extent geography having implication for GS, but that should not be the criteria. Right? So otherwise what happens, you are studying optional for the GS sake. Right? Somewhere it will dilute your effort. Right? You are seeing a paper 2 and then you are seeing the PSIR. Right? You are trying to maximize marks in GS2 from PSIR.
Okay.
Right? It should not be that approach. You are studying passionately PSIR. See, the natural outcome of it is that you are good with all the concepts related to GS2. It should not be conscious approach, because of overlapping. So it should not be driven by that, in my opinion, because there are people who take anthropology. So anthropology, almost, I don't think it has any overlapping with any part of the GS. Maybe some culture, art and culture, paper 1. But other science and technology, few concepts, if it is related to genetics and biotechnology. So other than that, it doesn't have implication. But people have done really well in anthropology, and also they have done well in the GS papers.
Sir, one more, conception among students is that some won't misconception, or they believe that it is true that they don't start their optional preparation till they done with prelims. On the sense they work that, okay, if I clear prelims, then I look at it. Why do you think so? Even after all these awareness, students tend to fall into this.
I don't know who started and all this compartmentalization in this examination.
True.
First I'll do only prelims, then I'll do mains preparation, I'll do only optional completely. The current examination demand is something else. It doesn't appreciate this kind of approach to exam preparation. It should be purely integrated approach. Right? So everything should be done simultaneously. Right. So even when you are doing your optional, so you must be focused on prelims and mains of the GS part also. Right. So now if you want to do optional after prelims, right, your the success rate is almost nil. Right. Now they are reducing the time gap also.
True.
Like around 70 to 75 days. Now it is around 73 days. It has reduced to 73 days. Now it is 75 days. So it might reduce further in 27, 70 or 65 days. During that time, completing or doing optional, if you clear prelims, right? So it's impossible. Now let us say that you have just given prelims for the sake of giving, right? You have completed coaching till then. So then, if you are planning for 27, right? So then that is okay. If you are a fresher, but somebody who is very serious about that attempt, but if you are postponing optional, then that is not a
right decision.
Right decision. But again, it depends when did you start coaching, because first question we discussed was when to start. So if you're starting coaching now, right? So now skip the attempt, and after next year prelims you can do optional. I said for March you can do, right? Even June, July also you can start, but your attempt should be in
Hmm.
27.
Sir, with your experience, do you think students are becoming less patient, perseverance, because they want instant results? Because we are living in a world where everything people expect instantly. So we can see a lot of students, they approach, they say that, we need results in next 6 months. So what would you tell to the students? Like, what should be their
See, we are
approach?
living in a world where
Hmm.
almost everything is becoming superficial,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So the speed results in this
Hmm.
superficial
Hmm.
attitude,
Hmm.
superficial learning,
Hmm.
because you are not going to the depth of the
Hmm.
maybe subject or issue or whatever,
Hmm.
even if it is life.
Hmm.
The current generation, including us and
Hmm.
also so-called
Hmm.
Gen Z,
Gen Z.
right?
Hmm.
What they want speed,
Hmm.
they want quality,
Hmm.
they also want lots of respect,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So these are the three things
Hmm.
that they are after, they actually demand from everyone,
Hmm.
every service.
Hmm.
But UPSC is something else,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Here you need to have lots of patience.
Hmm.
Here you need to gain lots of depth. The word is the depth of understanding. It is very much etched, embedded in the syllabus, in the notification. For that, again, you need to have patience. You need to fail. You need to learn from that, right? And then, more than demanding respect from UPSC, you need to respect UPSC, right? So quality, you should show quality, right? Expect quality from UPSC. Anyway, it is maintaining. Can you show the quality? So this exam, is becoming more analytical, and I had already told those who come for essay evaluation in my previous session that the essay topics will become more abstract, more philosophical. That I have been telling about it, and I think it was me who predicted, the more philosophical topics are going to come in the essay. I had done video in 2016 that is there in YouTube. And then the GS questions are going to become like this. Ethics will become more analytical, and GS one society questions, right? Some questions related to history and art and culture. Entire paper 2, again 30-40% of the paper 3, they are going to become more analytical. So in that moment, you have to apply some skills, analytical, critical thinking. You have to synthesize an answer in that very moment, right? The pre-prepared notes, they will not come for any help. So they'll bring 2-3 different topics together, and you need to create something. So that trend will increase only. So all it requires patient preparation. 6 months, it is impossible to crack this examination. To understand this examination itself will take 1 year, right? To gain the solid foundation, it will take some 1 to 2 years. And you people come without any habit of newspaper reading, right? Almost nobody has the reading habit, either newspaper or any books during the graduation, whether they are from IIT or LSR, right, or from our government first grade college, right? So be patient and give 2 to 3 years time, and then build your knowledge based skills, and then give your best attempt.
I have final 2 questions, sir. One is that some students have this doubt: should we take coaching for optional, or is it possible to prepare by oneself?
There is no doubt about this, because I'm very clear about any optional, you must take coaching, right? If it is your subject unrelated to your graduation, right? For a BSc Agri student, I won't recommend. As I said earlier, if they have done Agri passionately, then we are recommending them to take. So they don't need coaching. They need constant mentoring. But if you have done, let us say, BE computer science or something else, so then if you want to take sociology or Kannada literature or political science, right? So then definitely coaching is required. The reason is that coaching gives you necessary introduction and the base, but that is not the end of it, right? Let us say if you are giving, I have talked about in your class, in other optional class. So don't take Nikhil sir notes as the final, right? And he is recommending standard sources, read standard books, and go on updating the notes, right? But that base material, to prepare on your own, it
Mm.
will take 10 months or even more than that. If it is a new subject, because you want to understand the concept, your time will be spent in understanding the concept and making notes only. The same thing, the teachers, any institution for that matter, you or anyone. So in 4 to 5 months, 4 to 6 months, so they will give notes and everything. So that investment is important for anyone, who wants to go with these options.
So to share a funny incident with you, like on lines what you told. So there is this one student who said that, okay, I have read class notes, market notes, and prepared for the optional. Can you look at my answer? Because we in Insights, we have welcomed anybody from any institute. So he had written a quote of Aristotle. He had written in the answer, one who lives outside the state should be either goat or beast. So I asked him, like, what do you mean by this? He told, no, this is what was written in the notes. So I told, okay, that is written in the notes, but when you read, did you think twice? Because the actual quote is that one who lives outside the state is either God or beast. Means God is perfect, he does not need state, or beast, they don't need state because they're not humans. So this is one example when you blindly prepare without any kind of understanding that this is what.
See, that natural curiosity, that is what critical thinking, to verify something. Right, is this quote really by Aristotle? All it takes is few seconds. Right. So okay, from which source? Whether it is a book written by Aristotle or somebody written something on Aristotle, whatever it is. So that basic curiosity is lacking among the current generation. So you blindly take. Similar thing happens. Somebody topper recommends something. You don't even think, verify. You take it on face value. And there are so many people have this herd mentality. So the examination quality declines because of such blind copying of something.
Sir, this brings to my final point, the word you mentioned, critical thinking. So this we have been hearing for a long time, be it essay, be it ethics, be it optional. In every subject, I think critical thinking is crucial. So what exactly is this critical thinking, and how an aspirant can develop critical thinking, if you can shed light on it?
Okay. So basically critical thinking is objective thinking, where you are not accepting something on its face value. You are questioning the very the basis of that argument, right? On what logic, on what reasoning, right? On what justification, substantiation that argument is made. So you want to create your own or formulate your own opinion based on sound logic evidence, right? So that is basically critical thinking. So what UPSC aspirants do, critical thinking means positive, negative. They want to give in favor of 3 arguments, negative 3 arguments, and then they think it is balance. Balancing is not critical analysis or critical thinking. It is taking a stand. It's right. It may be against the topic. Yeah. Right. But your reasoning is strong. Right. So during giving reasoning comes the analytical thinking. Analyze, go to the sub part of that concept or something, creating interlinkages. So this analytical thinking, critical thinking are extremely important. These 2 are the parameters actually to judge any answer. So in every answer, the introduction should always be analytical and should also have an element of critical thinking. So that is the window to your thinking. The way you have understood the question, the way you want to construct an answer, right? What people do, they blindly write some random fact, quote some random report, or define a random keyword from the question. There are 3-4 keywords in the question. The most familiar keyword they pick and define in the introduction. They are not at all introductions. So the very training for these things will happen through rigorous in-depth analysis of editorial articles, columns. So in column we see, right, one nation, one election, somebody totally defending, somebody opposing. So both defending, opposing, both are part of the critical thinking, right? When somebody is opposing one nation, one election, so parallelly you may be disagreeing with that. So let us say he is supporting, but his argument doesn't make sense to you. Okay. Right. In that moment, you are thinking, no, there is no logic to this argument. So that is the beginning of critical thinking. You are not like blindly accepting. What aspirants do, they are blindly accepting. They want to make notes. There is a point, there is a concept, there is a data, there is a fact. So now I'll just copy, right? So the thinking process is not involved here. So this critical thinking, essay, ethics, optional papers, especially when optional papers are analytical in nature. Again, how to choose also is important. I believe if you have strong analytical, critical thinking, so then optionals like PSIR, even public administration, and then sociology will make sense. So if you have strong memory and you are a person who remembers lots of facts, so I think anthropology kind of static subject, which is not so dynamic. So that is another parameter, but that is not the ultimate parameter. Like literature includes both. There is a paper on criticism only, Vimarsha, and then we have poetics also, Kavya Mimamsa. This all requires lots of analytical, critical thinking, and also creative thinking in optional. So if you possess those, then you should go with the literature.
So my final question for today's session is that you have interacted with a lot of toppers in last 2 to 3 years. You have done their mock interviews also. What is one thing that you see common across optionals that this particular topper has done it to get him that marks? That has been a question mark. You find people scoring 300 in some subjects, some people, not all.
To put simply, that year they have broken the existing trend or pattern. More original case studies, more original examples, or even more original presentation, right? More original structuring also. And also in terms of quantity also, the kind of examples points they write, it is slightly better and more than the existing competition, right? So let us say 100 people are there. If 90 people are influenced by previous year toppers approach or coaching approach, and if they are presenting that, but that year you have somebody, a fresh talent, 10 people, out of 10, 4 or 5 people, somehow they're not molded by these existing patterns, right? Framework. So they broke out, came out of the trend and went for some in-depth research on few topics, not in entire. And they brought the fresh approach, right? And as I discussed earlier, some deep passion for the subject. So that year they set the new benchmark, right? And next year that becomes the pattern. And also previous year still exists because some people are not exposed to this. So 2 to 3 year that pattern is there. UPSC is very well aware of it. When you evaluate, thousands of copies. PSIR, how many people write? PSIR means?
We have almost like overall we have around 1,000 students.
1,000 or 1,500, right? So out of 1,000, the pattern is very much evident for a given question. Let us say paper 1, there is question number 1. So you will see that large number of people writing similar content. There are few exceptions relevant to the question, but they have written something fresh, something new, something deep. So they will score. And then next year, so that is how this competition. And also we should remember that the toppers copies we see in some websites and institution is not the true reflection of how they have performed in the real examination.
True, very much true.
Most of the times the best actually comes in the real examination. In real examination they would have written far better than how they used to write, because in when you write a mock test, you are not that serious you are serious, but your best effort is not seen there. It is not your best product, best creation, right? You still that casual element will be there. In the actual exam they would have written something totally different. So we get stuck with they're not so best performance, and then we take it and copy.
Sir, thanks a lot for today's session. It was truly
before we end, I want to know your perspective also, because you've been asking questions.
Yes, sir. What you told is completely true, because there was nothing much for me to add, because you hit the bullseye. Because that is what even I have observed, that the point what you made. Because even now when I'm evaluating paper, same thing. Last time what has been the trend, many people blindly start repeating the same thing again and again. For example, let us say in political science, we have a topic called as state. I think in insights, I can show you 80 people who are writing, 70 people, introduction has been, the study of state begins and study of political science begins and ends with state, Garner, because this is a common introduction written by one topper and that has been followed by others. So even I do agree with you that wherever there is scope of innovation, invention.
If I were the PSIR student, so maybe I would go with Henry Kissinger book. There is a book, Great Powers, something like I remember, right? I think World Order, right? So in the introduction, he has defined. I don't remember. Maybe I would pick definition from that expert, and I would write, maybe Henry Kissinger, maybe.
Yes, sir. True, sir. What you said is that we have to make some efforts of collecting some kind of data or some kind of new studies that has come out in that subject to integrate into our answer, and that will naturally amplify it. And even I believe that has worked, because last time we had this one test series student, Mayank Bajpai, who got 155 in PSR paper 1. That was, I think, highest in all India. And if you look at his answers, there are a lot of organic things what we are writing, which is spontaneous. So that is what I do believe, that given any option, if a student is able to bring this, I think definitely then you can see score above 300. But as rightly you told, the scores have declined in last 3 to 4 years.
Because of the lack of quality. The quality has declined. People are, because as you said, one of the questions, the effort that is being put, is they don't want to put much effort. Right. Effortlessly they want to crack the exam. So everything is readily available. So you take 10 examples from 10 topper copies and then make so-called unique notes. It is not unique. Still it is below average notes. So I think that is the bane, that we are seeing in this competition.
So that is what I think many students, they expect too much of spoon feeding. The moment you say that we are not going to spoon feed, maybe they don't like our approach.
But there is other side to it. The brilliant, intelligent students, they are also going with the total self-study. They think that they are very smart. Of course, they are very smart and brilliant, but they want to do without mentorship, without coming under certain mentorship. That is also wrong. So there are two, ends here. One spoon feeding, and another one is self-dependent, self-reliant. But they think that just having by reading standard book, they'll crack. That's an absolutely good idea, reading standard book. But you have to come to a mentor who understands the competition, because when it comes to essay, I see essay written by almost every graduate from almost every institution in this country, right? On the same topic, people from IIT, people from JNU or DU, people from our Christ College or medical colleges, engineering college, they have different perspectives, right? Now, what is the best essay with respect to the competition that I would have known, because I've been in this competition for so many years. Every year I know that, the one that stands out has certain elements. We have already discussed, the analytical, critical thinking, that good taste for, literature, good taste for something, standard sources. So now, when it comes to optional also, so that is what we have to, we are as an evaluator, we will be looking for. So when these people come to us, right, what you are doing is absolutely brilliant, but you need to align with the competition. This is what they demand. They will have some slight corrections to make, right, some tweaking here and there. So those students should come and approach, if it is for optional, you, me, or any other mentor who is expert in this field. So that is also important.
That's true, sir. And one thing, when initially I came to Insights, when I spoke to you, you had always suggested make students think on certain questions rather than just feeding them the content. And one thing with Insights PSR test series, which we have successfully done, is that we don't give synopsis for it. Why? Because one, we want students to think, brainstorm, and hold discussions, and I think that has paid off in last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, even all of our faculties and mentors, like SA Umesh is doing the same thing. Like he's become excellent guide for SA. Having done majors in English literature, he knows how to bring this analytical thinking and creative touch. Sudeep, right, for optional, and also for GS. Manjunath sir for GS too. Ashish. So almost I think you, Shashank, and also Pradeep. So almost everyone. Again, we have Nikhil for economy. This is something at Insight says I am very conscious of, because luckily I have this habit of dealing directly with the students, interacting with the student, understanding the demand, and having center in Delhi, Jammu, Kashmir. We are exposed to the diversity here. And this is, as we keep discussing, in our meetings and in our conversation. So it has percolated to every faculty and mentors here. So I think mentorship plays a critical role. So in helping aspirant sail through this examination.
So before ending this session, again I'll try to remind the students that at Insights we are welcoming all, irrespective of where.
That is there. Like yesterday I met a guy. He's not from Insights AS, so he was hesitant to tell, he's not from Insights. So he said he is doing self-study and he has come to show his essay. So then he was telling, like, one of his roommates told, go and lie that your OGP batch 1 student. So I said, you should have slapped that fellow, right? He's unfit to become an IAS officer, firstly. Secondly, we have a policy, we welcome everyone. Right, no assumptions. You can just walk in, bring your copy. We have an excellent team of mentors. I am available. We don't check ID. There is no peon or security, standing or sitting anywhere, stopping you, from coming inside. So this has been tradition from day one when I started in 2014 January. All are welcome.
Yes, with this, friends, we'll end this session. I'd like to thank Vinay sir once again for your time. And as we say in Insights, it's an open door policy. Please reach out to us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil.
Thank you, sir.